In this video, I'm going to show you how to not be broke as a yoga teacher in 2023. And before you ask, no, you don't need any marketing skills for this. You don't need to have an audience and you don't need to spend a bunch of money. And I'll even give you a step-by-step action plan so you can get started crushing it right now. So if you are a yoga teacher and you want to succeed online in 2023, then you will definitely want to watch this video. Hey, my name is Zoltan. I'm the founder of DoYou.com, which is a yoga and fitness platform with well over 1 million members. And my team and I help yoga teachers and creators grow their online businesses too. And right now, I'm going to show you how you can build your business and make a living teaching online, because I know many yoga teachers out there are broke or struggling. And honestly, I don't want you to be one of them. All right, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that thanks to the internet, there are now so many possibilities to thrive as a yoga teacher and never have to work an underpaid job again. And counter to what you might think, you do not need to be a big influencer to get there. There are teachers just like you who are making a very comfortable living, and many of them don't have a big following online at all. And I know this because we've actually worked with many of these teachers. Okay, so that was the good news. The bad news is that when it comes to getting started online, most yoga teachers are either totally lost or they waste their time doing stuff that does not get them anywhere. So I get questions all the time like, what do I do? Instagram, YouTube, create an online course. What about TikTok, LinkedIn, email, Facebook ads? I get it. There's so many options and things you could do. It's insane. So today I'm going to clear things up for you. I'm going to give you one system that I know works. And to be clear, there are definitely other ways to succeed as a yoga teacher online, but this is the most powerful system that I know. And it's the same system that's helped us grow DoYou.com to 1.2 million members. And we've used it to help yoga teachers at all levels, many of which started out exactly where you might be right now. It's super simple. And if I were broke or just starting out, this is exactly what I would do. Okay, so before we start, you might be wondering, why are you sharing this? And truth be told, it's pretty simple. We help a lot of yoga teachers with their businesses, and you probably know some of them from social media or YouTube. But unfortunately, we cannot work with everyone. That's why I'm sharing these videos, because I hope they will help you create financial independence and a life that you love. And who knows, maybe one day, once you've reached a certain level, you'll remember us and we can partner up to help you go even bigger. That'd be pretty cool, right? But for 99% of you guys, this isn't an option at the moment. You're not there yet, and that's totally cool. So right now, just enjoy these videos and hopefully you'll be able to get tons and tons of value out of them. Sounds good? Okay. Let's go. This is how to not be broke as a yoga teacher in 2023. I'll teach you 3 things. First, I'll teach you the 4-stage rule, which is all you need to know about marketing and building an online business as a yoga teacher in one powerful concept. Second, I'll teach you the most unknown secret to growing an online audience. This will help you shortcut your success massively. And lastly, I'll give you a super quick 3-step action plan so you can start right now, even if you're totally lost, don't have any time, or think you're not ready. All of that is in this video. Okay, let's get to the gold nuggets. Number 1, the 4-step rule. This is the single most powerful thing you need to know to crush it online in 2023 and well beyond. Now, at DoYou, we've worked with all types of teachers, from total newbies all the way to influencers with millions of followers. And whatever level they're on, once we start using the 4-stage rule, their audience and income go through the roof. Like Danny Rama, for example, who's added almost $100,000 in passive recurring income since we started. And this is him holding his Shiny DoYou Achievement Award. And look, I'm not telling you these things to brag, okay? I'm telling you this because I want you to understand that you sitting right there watching this video, you can use what I'm about to tell you to build a life that you love, okay? And like I said, it works for anyone, especially if you're just starting out. Now, first off, I need you to understand something. If you want to build your audience and income online, you basically only need to achieve one thing. You need to turn strangers into die-hard fans. And the 4-stage rule is your step-by-step process to help you achieve this. We use it every single time, and this is how it works. There are millions of people out there that you could truly help with your teaching. The problem is that they just don't know you yet. And to turn these people from strangers into diehard fans, you need to move them through 4 stages. And with each stage, your relationship with them becomes stronger. The 4 stages are aware, interested, hooked, and sold. You see, marketing is kind of like dating. If you're looking for a partner, you're not going to walk up to a stranger and say,
"Hey, want to be my boyfriend?"
Very low chance of success, right? There's a couple of steps in between. And it's the same when you build your audience and income online. So let me show you exactly how you can use the system to do that. Stage 1, make them aware. So like I said, millions and millions of people out there are looking for help. Most of them have no idea who you are and what you do. So your first goal is to make people aware that you exist and might have something they actually want. There are many ways to draw attention to yourself, but generally this happens by publishing some kind of content online. This could be in the form of video like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or audio like podcasts or Spotify, or written words like on a blog or LinkedIn post or Reddit, and so on. Either way, just look at all these platforms as what they are. They're just an opportunity to get yourself in front of strangers and make them aware of your cause. And the actual platforms come and go. Right now, IG and TikTok are big. 10 years ago, it was Facebook. Before that, it was maybe MySpace or something. It doesn't matter. Each platform has its own strategies. I'm going to talk about what type of content and how to post much more in future videos. But for now, what's important for you to understand is that specific beats generic. It's not about trying to address the entire world. Why? Because you're going to be one teacher in an ocean of others, and nobody's going to see your unique skills and the value you can give them. So needless to say, you need to stand out. And I'm not talking about flashy branding, being cool, having a great logo, or swimsuit yoga photos. That's not new, and honestly, nobody cares about those things. Instead, you need to do two things. Number one, pick a particular audience or target group that you believe you can help. For example, athletes or new moms. Number two, you pick a real need or problem that people in that audience or in that group actually have. For example, injury recovery for athletes or anxiety for new moms. Now, this will solve a need, and it's going to be harder for people to find elsewhere. So being specific will make it much easier for you to spark interest. And as you can see, the point is don't try to get everyone's interest. Instead, solve a real problem for a smaller group that you'd love to help, then choose a place where that group can be found and publish or share your helpful advice there. Like I said, I'll share much more about this in future videos. Otherwise, this one would get way too long. So if you haven't done so yet, you can subscribe and get more updates via the link below. Okay, so now that we have their awareness, it's time for stage 2, make them interested. Now, if you publish relevant and valuable content on social media or YouTube, this can be a very, very effective way to reach a lot of people. And this is totally free for you, right? Unless you use paid ads, which most of you guys should not do at this point. The only problem with all the social media stuff is that you have no control over it, right? And you've probably noticed it yourself. Only a fraction of your followers actually see what you post. There was a study recently that showed that Instagram engagement dropped by 30% globally in 2022 alone. 30% engagement gone in 1 year. And Facebook is even lower than that. Like, mind blown. If you think about it, building your socials is kind of like filling a leaky bucket with water. You publish content so people see it and follow you, but at the same time, tons of your followers gradually see less and less of what you post, like water leaking out of a bucket, right? And let's be real, even if your engagement on social media is 10 times higher than the average, you're still not able to reach 90% of your followers. And that's why stage 2 is so important. This is possibly the most unknown secret in growing your audience and income online. Are you ready? Publishing awesome and relevant content online ultimately only has one purpose: to make people give you their contact information, usually their email address. In other words, you need to catch them while you still have the chance. And I can't stress enough how super duper important this is. You need to be able to directly message your future die-hard fans, because an email, text, or direct message will give you 10 to 30 times more engagement than a social post. And no algorithm can take those contacts away from you, right? So you need to have a system in place that helps you get people's emails. And I'll show you how to do that later. Okay, so if you're not convinced yet, check this. We've actually done the math. When it comes to creating income, one email address is 50 times more valuable than a social follower. And I mean 50 times. We've done almost 100 campaigns for influencers and yoga teachers, and we've seen it over and over again. So if you collect 1,000 email addresses, you can make just as much income as an influencer with 50,000 followers. And I can even tell you how much. If you have diehard fans, which you will if you follow this process, you'll be able to generate around $1 per email address per month. So if you have 1,000 well-nurtured emails, you can generate $1,000 in income. Now, don't get me wrong, you should definitely spend time growing your socials, but growing your email list is at least as important. And it's a lot easier, right? Like if you really put your back into it, you can collect 1,000 email addresses within 3 months, even if you start at 0. So in 90 days, you can have the equivalent of 50,000 social followers and $1,000 in added monthly income. That is, if you follow the 4-stage rule. I'll tell you more about this in the last part of this video, so let's keep going. Now, once you've collected an email address, here's what you do next. Stage 3, get them hooked. Now, don't worry, this one is actually a lot easier than you think, because most other people are so bad at it that if you do it right, it'll be easy for you to stand out. So the big question is, what do you do with all the email addresses that you collect, right? Well, first off, make sure not to make the huge mistake that almost everyone else is making, which is to ask them to buy something right away. You guys only just met, they don't know you yet, and they probably don't really trust you. So it's definitely not a good time to make an ask yet. Instead, you need to build a relationship with them first and give them small bits of value. In other words, you need to give before you ask. We found that the best relationships are built if you give 4 times before you make an ask. That means we give some kind of value 4 times before we try to sell something. That's going to build trust and gets people seriously hooked, so that once you do make an ask, once you do promote an offer, for example, people will actually want you to sell them something. Now, there are exceptions to this rule. For example, if the first thing that you give is very valuable, but right now let's keep it simple. Okay, so now you might be thinking, okay, great, Andy, but what do I give them? Great question. The answer, you just ask them how you can serve them best. This simple hack will help you create crazy powerful relationships. So stay tuned and I'll tell you exactly how to do this in a few minutes. But before that, here's the final stage, stage 4, sell. And I'm not going to go into too much detail here, because if you follow step 1, 2, and 3, you'll have raving fans that love you. So selling will be the easy part. And for now, it won't really matter what you sell. In fact, you don't need to sell them anything in the beginning. The most important part is to get people hooked and create your die-hard fans. Now, that said, this roadmap works for any type of product or service, online and offline. We've used it to sell online courses, physical products, events, workshops, yoga teacher trainings, Zoom classes, and even regular yoga studio subscriptions. Okay, now you know the 4-stage process that we use for every single yoga teacher and product we market. Super simple, right? 10-second recap. So first, you create content to make people aware of what you're offering. And as you do that, you focus on solving real problems to get people interested so that they happily share their email address, and you get them hooked by giving them what they need. And that's how you create raving fans who want you to sell them something. And that's it. If you understand and follow this 4-stage rule consistently starting now, then by the end of this year, you will never be broke or struggling again, because you'll have hundreds or even thousands of die-hard fans. And you'll be way ahead of 99% of all other yoga teachers out there, because I can tell you, very, very few people understand, let alone use this powerful tactic. And the thing is, even those who do understand it mostly still don't use it, because they procrastinate, they postpone, and they question themselves, and that's why they're broke or struggling. But if you follow this process consistently, you won't be one of them. And there are tons of examples of yoga teachers who started at 0 and crushed it using the 4-stage rule. For example, Erin Motz, aka Bad Yogi. She didn't have a social following at all, but launched a free yoga challenge back when nobody was doing it and received over 50,000 email signups in less than a year. So when she knew she was making enough money consistently, she quit her job at a yoga studio and has been running her online yoga empire ever since. Daniel Rama did it, and he's traveling the world running his own yoga and movement community that's generating a very comfortable income. And you know what Rama and Erin and everyone else who's making a living teaching yoga online has in common? They all started at 0, and they all took the first step. And you know who's next? You. Because right now, I'm gonna give you the action plan to get started immediately. And look, here's why starting immediately is so important. When I started Do You, I was super focused on growing our social channels. This was back in 2015. So back then, this meant mainly Facebook. We put a lot of hard work into this for a long time, and we went to almost 1 million followers on Facebook. It was pretty cool until one day things went south. Our Facebook engagement suddenly dropped massively. Even though we tried every trick in the book, within a few months, our engagement was cut in half. Here's a graph of our epic drop in Facebook traffic, by the way. 1 million followers on Facebook, basically 0 engagement. And it wasn't just us, it happened to everyone. And it was because the prime days of Facebook were over. Because the truth is, platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok come and go. And your control over the amount of engagement you get will always be very, very limited. It's always going to be that leaky bucket situation. So the most important thing you need to do to crush it in 2023 is not a bunch of tips on how to grow your social accounts. We'll get to that in later videos. Right now, you need to start collecting and nurturing your audience so you can create your die-hard fans and eventually generate income. And that's what your action plan is about. We're going to create your email capturing and nurturing system in 3 simple steps. So let's go. Your super quick 3-step action plan to start crushing it online in 2023. This should not take you more than an hour to do. And if you do it, I guarantee you it will change everything. To do this, we're going to create what's often called a lead magnet. It's basically a free offer that solves a problem for people. And to get access to the freebie, they have to give you their email address. And I'm sure you've seen this stuff online before, or maybe you've even used it. Now, don't worry, you're not going to have to actually create any content for this right now yet, because your free offer will be an invite to your exclusive email list. So more on that later. For now, all you need to do is step 1, pick an audience and problem to solve. Step 2, create a simple landing page. And step 3, send people there. So first off, you need to choose a problem that you'll solve for a specific audience. There are countless audiences you could target. A few examples are athletes, new moms, office workers, golfers, whatever. Once you've picked one that you believe you can help, identify a problem or need that they have. For example, injury recovery, anxiety, chronic back pain, lack of strength. So you end up with something like injury recovery for athletes, anxiety relief for new moms, solving chronic back pain for office workers, or stronger swings for golfers. You get the idea, right? Okay, once you've found a topic that works, you need to set up a simple landing page. All the big email marketing providers have that feature, and there's always a free plan. Otherwise, you can just Google email marketing landing page and you'll find something that works. So sign up for a free account somewhere, and then you set up a simple landing page with 3 sections: header and description, sign up with a name and email field, and a short intro about yourself with a picture. Now, there's one more thing you need to do. You need to set up an autoresponder email that's immediately sent to everyone who signs up for your lead magnet. You'll be able to do that inside that email marketing tool. And the autoresponder email is going to read something like this. Subject line, athletes like you. Hey Jesse, I noticed you signed up for my list. As you may know, I help athletes like you recover from injuries. I'd love to learn a little more about your situation. If you don't mind, could you tell me what you're currently struggling with and why you think you haven't been able to solve this problem? This will help me help you even more. Speak soon, Robin. Now, at least 30 to 50% of people are going to respond to this, and a couple of things are going to happen. You're going to blow people's minds because you showed them you actually care, and you'll know exactly what people need and what topics to cover in your emails because people are literally telling you, right? And because getting this type of engagement feels awesome, you'll be motivated to serve your new audience and create the best content you can to solve their problem and make a difference in their life. And by the way, you're obviously not going to respond to them one by one unless you really want to do that. That's cool too. Instead, you'll send emails to your entire list so everyone benefits, right? And it can be any type of format, like pure text emails. You can create videos and link them, or a podcast, or whatever medium works for you and your audience and whatever you're comfortable with, right? And you'll never run out of topics to cover because every new subscriber gives you more inspiration. So just make sure to keep showing up in their email inbox once or twice per week. From that point on, all you need to do is make people aware, because now you have a place to actually send people to, right? And the great thing is that because your offer is very specific, it's now going to be much easier for you to find the places where your target audience gathers and create content that truly helps them. This is how you turn strangers into die-hard fans. And from there, creating an income and a life that you love is just a matter of continuously helping those fans. And I'll tell you much more about that in our upcoming program. Okay, final recap. In this video, you learned 1, your one goal is to turn strangers into die-hard fans. 2, platforms are leaky buckets, so you have to capture people's email addresses. 3, you'll do this with a lead magnet that solves an actual problem. And 4, if you ask them what they need and give that to them, you'll create die-hard fans that will eventually want you to sell them something. Now, all you need to do is to follow the action plan I gave you. And that's all for today. I hope you got tons of value from this video. If you haven't done so yet, let me know your questions in the comments. Also, we're creating tons more videos like this, and there's usually some extra material that we don't put on YouTube. So click the link in the description to get those updates. I really appreciate you all. I know you could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're here watching this video. And for that, I'm super grateful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.